Hello everyone, welcome to the Equation Web. Today we will be doing two more arithmetic problems, so let's start with the questions. Today's questions will focus a lot on factoring, so it'll be like other previous videos where one question might be a little easy and another question will be a little harder and is on the same topic. So here is today's question. This is the first question that we will cover. Find all positive integers n such that n squared plus 2 is divisible by n plus 1, meaning that if you divide the two, you must get an integer. So I'll give you guys a little bit of time to solve it. The first thing we must do to n squared plus 2 is make it related to n plus 1. So let's write it as n squared minus 1 plus 3 so that we can factor n squared minus 1 and make it related. Now, as we said before, we can factor n squared minus 1 using the difference of squares formula as n plus 1 times n minus 1, and then don't forget the plus 3 that we had. Now, we had to solve for when we divide n squared plus 2 by n plus 1 and get an integer. So this is equal to n squared plus 2. So let's just divide this whole thing by n plus 1 and see what we get. Now, we can split this into two fractions, and the second fraction is more important right now because it states that 3 over n plus 1 is added on to the first fraction. That means that this second fraction must also be an integer, meaning that n plus 1 is a divisor of 3. Now, right here, we have that the divisors of 3 are plus or minus 1 and plus or minus 3. We want the positive solutions to this equation, so we can plug in 1 and 3. If we now solve these equations out, we get that n is equal to 0 or n is equal to 2, but n is equal to 0 is not a positive solution, so n is equal to 2 is our solution. Now we can go on to our second question. Our second question is, find all positive integers n such that n squared plus 5 is divisible by n plus 1. I'll give you guys some time to do this question. Now we can use the same method that we used in the first problem and make this n squared minus 5 plus 6, and make sure that this is still equal to n squared plus 5. So then we can factor n squared minus 1, so we get n plus 1 times n minus 1, and then we have the plus 6 at the end. Now we can divide this expression by n plus 1 like we did before, so that we can find the solutions to our problem. If we fully simplify that fraction that we had in the previous few seconds, we get n minus 1 plus 6 over n plus 1. We must prove that 6 over n plus 1 is an integer, which means n plus 1 is a divisor of 6. Now we know that the divisors of 6 are plus or minus 1, 2, 3, and 6. So we can set n plus 1 equal to the positive versions of all those numbers. Now we get that for this problem, we had three solutions. N is equal to 1, 2, and 5. Note that 0 is not positive, so it is not a solution to our problem. So our problem was, find all positive integers n such that n squared plus 5 is divisible by n plus 1. The solutions to our problem right here are that n is equal to 1, n is equal to 2, and n is equal to 5. Thank you for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe.